So today, we're back with another suggestion, this one from AK Gaming. They say, make an unmarked police car capable of pursuing getaway cars. So that is exactly what we're going to do. We have traveled back to 1992. We have also picked out a Crown Victoria-esque police car, and I'm going to try and be a little bit more realistic with this one. And that means that I actually don't know, I'm just going to assume it's double wishbone, but we're just going to be slightly more realistic. Now, when it comes to big engines, we need a V8, but it's going to be a cast iron V8. I'm going to aim for maybe like 450 horsepower. It doesn't need to be ridiculous. Maybe 450 is a little too much. I actually used to have one of these cars. It was a Grand Marquis, and it only had 190 or like 210, somewhere around there horsepower. So we'll just have to see what this one will do. So for displacement, we're going to go with the classic 4.6. Hopefully it works. I don't know exactly what the specs are on those engines, so I'm just kind of guessing. No turbos allowed, that's cheating. Injection, we'll just go single point EFI with standard. And if that doesn't work, we'll amp it up. And we'll crank up the RPMs a little bit. We want a slightly higher revving engine. And in the aim of realism, we'll have mufflers as well. So it currently makes 20 horsepower. I feel that is a little bit too low. Let me see if I can fix this. Okay, so with a couple of tweaks, we're up to 164. I am still not happy with that. I'd like to get them at least 300. Maybe we can just stick with like 250 and be happy with it. I think the Marauder, the like fancy version of the Crown Victoria that was performance oriented, had 300 horsepower, so we at least need to get that. Right, so I've got it up to 274, but I want to squeak just like the slightest bit more out of it. We'll just quickly go to forged pistons, and then maybe that'll be a little unrealistic, but hopefully by doing that we can afford to raise some of these values here. Right, so I think I'm gonna leave it there. What I said about getting to 450 was completely off. Let's be even more realistic than I was assuming and go for a 280 horsepower. This is more than the usual cop cars have, so for 280 I think it's going to be good. The body is going to be pretty heavy because it's a big car. I know that Consider already did a build with this body, a police car build with this body, but it's just so perfect. What I'm going to do though, and what I have just done, is shortened it as much as possible. I think it's going to handle pretty well with its double wishbone suspension, but let's see. We definitely need a black, so the car is just going to be black, and the trim is also going to be, we could make it chrome. We will not make it chrome. Actually, that is not bad, just a black car. It's going to be a good unmarked police car, I would say. So it looks a little bit awkward here, but I'm going to try to add a little bit more to it. One thing I wish that I could get is like a bull bar or something, but we're not going to be able to do that. Instead, we go for the awkward lights and just keep adding them until it sort of works. Goodness, I have created one of the weirdest looking front ends. This is the weirdest thing I've ever made in this game, like front end wise. It's got a lot of detail, but there we go. We get, with that plate in there, it makes it look a little bit less awkward. Maybe if it was a grill. It's just this huge piece, but I like it so much. Let's just leave it as is. But yeah, that's a pretty decent front. Now, one thing that's good to remember with this is being an unmarked police car, I'm also interpreting that as like undercover detective police car. So it's not going to have much in terms of styling. It's just going to look like a car. Except for maybe the front end, which is a little awkward, we'll say. And just a touch of awkwardness on the front. But it's just going to be a basic car. It's not going to be anything too fancy. But underneath is where it matters. Okay, so what I'm trying to do is put like a chrome trim all the way around it, and I have moderate success. And by moderate I do mean moderate. It looks a little rough, but it's not the worst thing ever. Maybe if we take it and then we take the chrome and just make it a gray instead. I know the front one is chrome, but just having a gray trim around it kind of adds to it, I think. It's the little details that matter. Just putting this nice little trim on there. I think I'm gonna add, well, the problem is that it's so far up. Oh no, what have I done? But yeah, see like the nice door moldings on the side, on the back. It's just like a stealthy looking police car. Now, one thing that I did get is police lights. Now, being a stealth car, it would not have any lights like this, but I'm thinking that just for this, just for the sake of our own build here, we'll throw a light on the top of it. I don't think it's gonna work in Beam, but we can pretend. But we'll put a light on top of it just so it's like, this is obviously some kind of police car. And when it comes to rims, we're just gonna stick with the stock rims. They look pretty much perfect for like police steel wheels, and I think that they will work for us. Okay, moving on to drivetrain. This thing does not need to be anything special drivetrain wise. We are going to make it automatic. We'll make it a 4-speed. It thinks it can go 233 or 232. Goodness, cannot read numbers apparently. So we'll pretend that it can do that, and we'll raise this up so that it's got some decent acceleration. Now these cars do have open diffs, so I'm sorry. I think actually, you know what, the P71 version might have a limited slip, so we'll leave it like that. I know that the normal versions of these cars do not have oh, we forgot badging. But I know that the normal versions of the cars just have open diffs. Just for a joke, I'm gonna put this Ecotech badge on there. We'll just pretend it's a flex fuel, you know. Okay, so I think we're done with drivetrain. We're not gonna worry about quality sliders. Let's go radials, medium compound. They don't have very big wheels on them. I believe, okay, they're definitely not 17s, but I think they are 16s or 15s, so we'll just go with that. We could raise the back wheel width, but I think that's cheating. So we'll go for a 250. Actually, you know what, they would be the same. They would be 225s all the way around. No warnings at all so far. It seems like we've actually made a decent non-warning car. We can make the offset out just a touch. That's too much. We gotta be realistic about this. So front brakes are going to be solid discs. I believe they are 2-piston solid discs. Rear brakes, we'll make them solid discs and we'll make them the same. I know that at least on the car that I had, it was discs all around. Let's see, this is probably going to be fine. It's not going to be a speed demon by any means. We're going to ignore downforce and stuff because it won't matter. This car probably does not have much brake airflow, and we do need bench seats all the way through. We're also going to have let's make it a standard interior, and I believe that it's a standard cassette player as well. Power steering, variable hydraulic. For our purposes, because we're exporting this to Beam, we will leave no traction aids, and safety is going to be there's no standard 90s, so we'll just leave it like that. I know it's going to weigh more because of that, but I'm not worried about it. We'll just have it as is. Now, I think that the police versions of these cars would not, but the limos would have pneumatic suspension, like air suspension. But for our purposes, we are going to just go with progressive, I guess, and we'll go gas monotube, so it's like a midstream. Have we made a car that's actually decent? The front brake force is low, rear brake force is low, oversteer, dampers are hard. Okay, we haven't even set a preset. We can try a normal preset. What's that? That's a good ride height. It might actually be a little low. So it says that the brakes are not great, so we'll raise up the brakes just a touch. We'll raise the size of them. We'll make them 200 on the back, 250 on the front. That should be good. Maybe increase the pad type a little bit. Perfect. I think we've done it. I think we have created a reasonable police car. It's not fast, it's quite heavy. It's got 6 seats, but it's not terrible. Now, here's what we're going to do. Let's take it to Beam, and let's chase down some criminals. I think that there might be some just lurking around in some of the towns there in Beam, so let's hunt them down.
All units be advised, a Green Panther has been stolen. We need officers to report to the scene immediately.
I guess it's my time to shine. Alright everybody, so... Oh goodness, that's a bad way to start. This thing is not that bad, I swear, that's my bad driving. But yeah, here we are. This is the car exported to Beam. I'm currently having this Jaguar flee from me. This is the one that we made, or Panther I should say. This is the one that we made in a previous video. It's a 600 horsepower V12, but it is a wheel spin beast. So let's see if we can catch up to it. This thing has only got 300 horsepower, but it's not that slow. It's pretty slow though, and I think it's tweaked as well. It seems like we should be following the massive wheel spin marks on the ground. Wherever there are tire marks, there is bound to be this Panther. Oh, found it. Goodness, we've got to turn in. Okay, I think I might have just rocked the undercarriage there. Has it broken itself though? Are we going to disable a disabled car? Oh my goodness, I'm having a hard time. So I'm trying not to cheat, but I'm also losing this match. I thought that it would be a little bit more fair, but this Jaguar is fast. It is a lot faster than I thought it was. And I made it. This car is not strong over bumps at all. I don't exactly know why that is. Oh, I see a tire mark up there. This car could be up in the stadium area. I'm afraid it could have like driven off a cliff at this point. Like, the car could be down in there for all I know. So one area where I would improve on this car in the future is, I think that the wheels are just a little bit too small at the back. It does terminally skid, as a lot of my cars do, but the wheels are just a little bit too thin overall. If we can make them a bit thicker at the front, then we could definitely do it a bit on the back too. Obviously I'm driving in a way that you would not drive in real life, just having the gas like hammer it all the time, especially around corners. Yeah, maybe I'm just expecting a little more performance out of 280 horsepower than is actually realistic. I have completely lost this car. This guy he's gone on cooldown. I think it's time that we see where it is. Oh, it's still going. It's over by the gas station. We just have to catch up to it. Oh, is that it up there? I think I found it. We're on the hunt. The Jag is still moving. Not as fast as it was before, but it's still moving. Just have to keep track of it in this town. And after what I said about not going over bumps well, I am really risking things right now. And... ooh! Okay, so the car has taken out this unit. I think we're going to need to spawn another one. Or we can just drive without. Maybe we can get away with it. Oh! We cannot steer at all. I fear we may have been defeated. Alright, Unit 2 coming in for backup here. We cannot lose it now. That Jag is injured and shouldn't be able to go far. Oh, there it is. Come on. We're breaking every traffic law possible now. We just gotta hit the gas and really go for it on another big swing. We just can't lose any wheels. Oh, here we go. Oh, another hammer on the back. But it's still moving. Oh, we're still moving as well, which is good. Seems like the advanced 90s safety is working out well for us. Come on, you gotta stop now, it's not worth it. It's still moving. Oh my goodness. These automation cars are a little bit too tough. We must bring this guy to justice. In his ridiculously loud Jag. I'm gonna say that we got him. But yeah, not bad overall. It's not the worst creation I've made. But let's take this thing around the racetrack, and we will see what kind of time we can get with it. Of course, after we hit that perp one more time. So for those of you unfamiliar, this is the test track setup that we were using. We currently have 10 times on the board, but 2 of them are the drag cars, so this will be car number 10 to go up on the board. In first place we have the hill climb car that we made last video. Second place is the 2900 horsepower V12 all-wheel drive. I'm thinking this car will probably be somewhere in here. The Panther that we just were racing against was last place. The van, and then the drag car, and the drag car's second time. So we're probably going to be somewhere in here, but I think it's still worth a try just to see what we can do. Alright, here we go. Let's take this thing around the track and hopefully it doesn't spin out as bad as my previous attempts on the actual roads of the city there. So far, so good. Okay. Spoke too soon once again. It doesn't drive horribly. It's not fast, but it doesn't drive horribly. You just have to be mindful of the thin rear tires and the fact that they're medium compound instead of like sports or slicks. If they were slicks, we'd have no problems, but let's be real, that the car can't have slicks. That's just a little too unrealistic for me. So far, it's been a pretty clean lap, actually. I'm pretty surprised with the way that it's working, or in some cases not working. I'm now realizing as well that we forgot to put exhaust on it, but that's fine because the exhaust I would have put on would be turned down at the back, because that's what the cop cars have, so you wouldn't be able to see it anyways. It seems like every time we add features, I forget to add other ones. I think that might have been the slowest lap around here, competition time-wise, and it's probably my fault. Alright, so I'm coming up to the end of the retried first lap here, and it seems like we were able to do it in a couple seconds, a little bit shorter than last time, so maybe it's not the worst thing overall. Although, it's definitely going to be fighting with the Panther when it comes to the bottom place here. This thing is like driving a literal boat around the track. It might be the biggest lengthwise car that we've driven around here. But being a car that can be used for many purposes, like a limo and a taxi and a police car and an old man's car, or a drag car if you're that kind of person, it's not bad overall. It's a lot of fun to drive. I think that this is probably one of the better results that we've gotten from a suggested build so far. Right, so it's actually... Oh, perfect. So we got 9th out of 10. It could be worse. It really could be worse. So it's faster than the van, and it's faster than the Panther, but just by a bit. It's not much faster. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. I am taking requests on videos, so this one was a requested video. Please, if you have any more ideas, comment them below. I'm making a big list of things that are worth doing on this channel as suggested by you, so I'll continue with that. Also, feel free to subscribe. If you made it this far, and you enjoyed the video, then please subscribe, because I'm just going to keep doing more stuff like this, and you'll want to see that. Yeah. Thank you for all the support, and I'll see you in a couple days.